Hi, James here, and welcome to another Fuzzlecheck tutorial. In this video, we're going to look at the Fuzzlecheck Units Edition. Fuzzlecheck Units Edition allows users the ability to schedule and track multiple units as part of a single project. And in part 1 of this tutorial, we'll look at working with separate units in your schedule and the differences between feature film mode and series mode. Fuzzlecheck Units offers all the features of the Standard and Pro editions, plus the following additional features. There's unit management for an unlimited number of shooting units regardless of size. You could have a fully independent second action unit working in another city, a splinter unit working on the same lot, or an insert unit doing pickups in the corner of the studio. There's different side-by-side comparison views, individual shoot day counts for units for both features and series, episodic numbering, highlighting and printouts, and more printing options designed for multiple units. The Units Edition can be indispensable to feature films, where you might have a second or third unit shooting a couple of days a week, as well as to episodic television series, where you might have multiple units going all the time. As a side note, it's a good idea when working with the Units Edition to be using a large monitor or two screens side by side for viewing detailed comparisons. When used to its full advantage, Fuzzlecheck can take up a lot of screen real estate. So, the customary way of denoting a second unit was to insert a banner into the strip board that said second unit, and then group all your second unit strips under that banner. And that's fine if you're just planning on a few second unit days that need to be tracked. As your second units become more involved, or the number of units grows, you'll need the ability to track each scene with more efficiency. There are two different modes of scheduling in the Units Edition. If you click on the Project button and then on the Units tab, you're presented with two options, Feature Film Mode and Series Mode. Feature Film Mode is where I can designate a separate unit on any given day, but I don't need one on every day. We'll look at how the Series Mode is different in a few minutes, but let's look at the Feature Mode first. Okay, so we're going to add a unit or two to day 2, and we'll highlight any strip on day 2, and then we'll click the Units button on the toolbar. Now that second unit identifier can go anywhere in the day, and we simply drag the strips that are going to second unit below it. There's no limit to the number of units you can schedule in any given day. The Units Edition will always place the second unit after the first, and the third or fourth units after that. If you move the third unit strip above the second, it will replace it. Now you can see how units stay loyal to the scenario they were created in. In Board A, we've scheduled 3 units on this day, but Board B isn't affected. You click the Units tab in the upper right corner of the window, it will show you information about the units being used on that board. You'll also see how Fuzzlecheck Units tracks element availabilities between the units on a single day and alerts you to any potential conflicts. We'll look at element conflicts in more detail in part 2 of this tutorial. Okay, so now let's look at the difference between the Feature Film Mode and the Series Mode of the Units Edition. We'll click on the Project Preferences button and then on the Units button. We'll see right now it's set to Feature Mode, where we can use it for managing multiple units on single days, but not every day. On day 2, we have a second unit where we needed to create a third unit. These unit strips can be added and deleted without affecting any other days. If you only want one unit right now, click Units in the upper right, highlight the units you wish to delete, and confirm. Be careful to take note of any strips associated with that unit, as they will also be removed. Now let's look at Series Mode. Series Mode would be for large episodic shows like Game of Thrones that have multiple units shooting every day, maybe across different countries or even continents. And this is where Fuzzlecheck Units Edition, when used online, really shines. You can have multiple AD teams running multiple units in different countries, all working off the same script, the same breakdown, and the same schedule. Each team can access the online file and reference what the other units are up to. Consequently, everyone can see what everyone else is doing, and information is shared without losing track of anything. You'll see when we enable Series Mode, the board now has the first unit banner on every day. When you click on the Units button, it will ask you to confirm if you want to create a second unit. That will also appear on every day. Again, I can create a third unit, and Fuzzlecheck will put it in after the second, and so on and so forth. Now let's look at shoot day count and how that's affected by Feature Mode versus Series Mode. There are 3 different ways Fuzzlecheck Units count shoot days. In Feature Mode, the program uses a common count, and that is, all the units will contribute to a common cumulative shoot day count. Even though there's no second unit scheduled on day 1, but there is on day 2, it is still counted. In Series Mode, we have the choice between Common Count, the same used in Feature Mode, and Separate Count, where the individual units are totaled separately. Here on day 1, second unit is denoted as a day off. Day 2 is a shoot day, and day 3 is again considered a day off. Okay, so let's look at the third option. That option is a combination of common and separate counts. The different units will have a separate count that accumulates, but there is a master shoot day count denoted on the day breaks. It should be noted here as well that highlighting a unit strip in the inspector gives us the ability to change the shoot day number to whatever we prefer. And while we have the inspector open here, let's look at the ability to mark any unit strip as a permanent day off. You'll see Fuzzlecheck gives you a little exclamation mark to remind you that you don't want anything scheduled on that day. Okay, that's about it for part 1 of the Fuzzlecheck's units tutorial. Check back for part 2, where we'll look at the different comparison views, identifying conflicts, and some of the printing options available in the Units edition of Fuzzlecheck. Thanks for watching.